Welcome back people to my channel. This is BulletTuber with a new video of the series Endos and City Prompts in Blender 2.82. In this tutorial we are going to create the fifth item on the list, which is the bus stop. So we will start with modeling the bus stop in Blender, but some new things are happening now for texturing, because we are going to texture our model not in Blender but in Substance Painter. This is just to give you some brief texturing there in order for you to get into it if you like it, and because with Substance Painter you have the chance to create a detailed texture with just a low poly model. So let's start modeling. First of all, I will not use a reference image for the bus stop since it's an easy model. You have just to be creative and use your imagination to start with. So first thing, I'm going to create the 4 poles that are holding bus stop. So let's create a cube and scale with S key, and if we press Shift and Z, then we are only scaling on Y and X, and we exclude the Z axis. So I will scale around here, press 1 on the numpad to go to front view, S to scale on the Z axis, and I will scale around here. So G and Z to move the object. Actually, let's go back. I will press tab to go in edit mode, G and Z, and move the origin point somewhere to the bottom of this pole. Press tab to go back to the object mode, and now let's use some modifiers to be more fast. So I will use here an array modifier, which we are going to leave check the relative offset and start giving an offset here. So I will like it somewhere here and create 4 of them. This is I imagine to be a really big bus stop, so I will decrease the offset somewhere here. So we are okay with something like 10.8. Now let's Shift and D to duplicate, and then R and Y to rotate it on the Y axis. So let's go back to front view, G to move. Also I will go in edit, Shift and S and cursor to the selected. Press tab once again to go back to object mode and set the origin to the 3D cursor. So now origin is at the middle of the new object. I will scale around here. Let's see how it looks from this side. So let's scale also to the Y axis, and now I will scale a little bit more to the X, and now let's create something more nicer than just a single cube there. I will press 3 on the number to go to the right orthographic. I will go into edit mode. Let's see how it looks, and let's rotate to the X axis. I like this rotation. Somewhere here. Oh, it's too much. Let's go a bit back around here. and I'm going to add a loop cut here. And select these two, press G to move, and I will move it around here. So I did this because I imagined that the top it will be a curve, so it needs the poles to be from this angle to the other side. So let's move on. We have to Shift and D to duplicate them again, and now rotate on the x-axis by 90 degrees. I will leave just 2 of them, but I will multiply here by 3 to move it to the end. Now let's go to edit, change here to face select, and I will scale. I think it's not enough, so on the Y around here for now. G and Z to move it on the Z axis, and leave it around here. Let's go a bit back, so G on the Y around here, and G on the Y in object mode to just somewhere here. So we are good. I will add here a new loop with Control R and moving it, face selection, E to extrude, and extrude it at that level. And I did this because I would like to create a nice corner. So I will change to vertex selection, press Z on the keyboard, wireframe C for circle selection, select this here, so select these two and press Ctrl B, Ctrl A, and apply all transformation. Let's go back to edit, Ctrl B, and bevel until here. So I think this gives some more character to the bus stop. I am going also to select this object, press Shift and D to duplicate, leave it at the exact same position, press R to rotate on the Z axis, so press Z 180, and G on the Y to move it. So let's press 3 to go back to right orthographic, G on the Y, and move it where you want it. So I believe yes, the back here should be closer. Okay, now I'm going to I will also create here another one. So let's press 1 to go to front view, Shift and A, and create another cube. I will scale this cube G and Z to move it on the Z axis, and I will scale it a bit more and scale on the X until here. So G on the X, move it inside here. 7 to go on top view, G and Y, and move it around here. So let's see how it looks. I will scale it on the Z axis to create something more flat, and a bit on the Y. 3, Z and wireframe, and I will rotate this to get the same angle, and G and move it around here. So now if we go back to solid view, this is what I created for the structure. I would like to create this thing here. So first of all, let's press 3, select these two, Shift and S and cursor to the selected, so it will be on the middle of the two different objects. Let's press Shift and A and add a plane here. I will scale until it will be inside of these two objects. Press 7 on the numpad to go on top view, scale on the x-axis and scale it around here. Let's go to wireframe and move with G and X here. I will scale a bit more around here. Let's add a loop. So tab to go to edit, Control R, add a loop at the middle, 3, and leave it on the exact same position with the right click of the mouse. Press 3 on the numpad to go to right orthographic, G and Z to move it somewhere here. Press Ctrl B to add some bevel to it, and with the scroll of the mouse just add some loops to be a nice curve. So I would like it here. Let's go back to solid view and add 2 loops because I'm gonna create 3 windows here. And now add a loop at the left side, one on the right side, and same at the middle. Okay, and also another one on the top and another one on the bottom to create the same space here. Let's select with circle selection these faces here for the window. Let's press E to extrude inside. So I believe until here we are good. And let's now select these faces. So by holding Control you can select the first and the last. So first is selected, last, and go like this. Shift to change the first, back holding Control, Shift to change the first, back holding Control, and same here. So now we are good. E to extrude and extrude just a bit to create this difference. So until here we are fine. Let's now move to the back. So go to front view. I will duplicate these columns here. Press X to move it just on the X axis. I will leave it here. I will go with 3 just to fill these 3 places. Tab to go to edit, wireframe with C on the keyboard, circle selection, select the two face, G and Z to move it down, and I will like it somewhere here, and also the bottom part to be around here where the bench will be. So bench will start from here. Now select this face, G on the X, and scale until here. Now we have to change the offset to bring the other two back. So I will bring them around here and press now holding shift to move them. So we are good with this. Let's go back to solid and bring this face inside, and also to the back this face inside. This will be just some posters. So I'm going to get this face, press I to insert, 1 on the numpad, scale on the X, and scale just here, and E to extrude, and extrude just a bit inside. And the poster will be in the inside of these frames. Also for the bus stops, I saw that a lot of bus stops are using a nice billboard here, so I'm going to create something that matches to a billboard. Let's press Shift S and cursor to selected, or cursor to word origin, Shift and A, and add another cube here. I will scale it. Let's press Ctrl and 3 to go to left orthographic, and I will move it here to the middle of this space, and let's start scaling it. Go to front view, scale on the X, just a bit smaller than the actual poles here. And now let's start editing it. So I'm selecting this face, G on the Y-axis to bring it around here, G on the Z-axis to bring it here, this face also, G on the Y to move it closer, and at the bottom I will leave it around here and create another box. So let's go back to object mode, or let's first select everything, press Shift and S and cursor to selected, tap to go back to edit and set the origin to the 3D cursor. I will go back to solid view, Shift and D to duplicate, Z on the Z axis, and scale somewhere here, G and Z to bring it at the ground, and also go back to wireframe, select the top face, G and Z, and just bring it closer. Now we are going to edit this thing. So I'm going to select this face and this face, so inside and outside, and press I to insert. This will insert both sides. Select just the inside. First of all, I will scale more to create a thick metal here, and select this face, E to extrude, and extrude just a bit inside, and also from this side just a bit inside. So this is our billboard. I will just move it a bit on the top, and let's now start working on the bench. And this is what it should be. So for the bench, I would like to press to duplicate once again this, so Shift and D, rotate on the X-axis by 90 degrees. And let's create just a two-side bench from this side. Here they are going to be standing, so I just need two of these and scale them let's first move it to the side that we would like to be. Add another one. I have 3 poles for a two-seating bench. And scale. Okay, here G and Z, and move it around here. Now let's change the offset to match the rest of the poles. And we are good to go. So tap to go to edit, select face, G and Y. Let's go to right orthographic. It should be at the middle of the billboard. I think this is enough. And now I'm going to create some cylinders for the bench. So cylinder, rotate on the Y-axis by 90 degrees and scale just to have some really small thing here. G on the Y-axis and scale on the X. Let's scale it more. Seven to go on top view, wireframe, and let's move this to the middle of the second one. Scale on the X to fit the first and the last. I think I'm good. So let's go back to solid view. I will start from here, or we can just start a bit further. Add another array modifier. Change this to 0 and this is to 1, or we can change to -1. I would like something like this, or it can be closer, so let's change it to -2 and increase the count until it reached the end. I will also edit this a bit more, so selecting these two and scale on the Z-axis to scale it more. And I'm happy with the final result. I think bus stop looks really nice. And let's now move on with the preparing of the texturing in Substance Painter. So first of all, in order to go to Substance Painter and texture something, you have to unwrap everything. And by the way, here I would like to apply all the modifiers first. I will apply this one, the pose. These are okay. And now let's press A to select everything, Ctrl and J to join them all together. All the bottom vertices here of the poles. I will show you why. Shift and S, cursor to the selected. I will change the origin to be at the bottom in order when you import this to Unity or uh, to Unreal Engine, you are going to have the pivot point at the bottom and the middle of this. So if you press now Shift and S and cursor to the selected, you can send the object to the cursor. Let's now add some materials to separate things here. It will be easier after that. And let's start creating our materials. So first thing would be the metal. So changing also the base color here to something gray. Let's change this. So this face will be poster 1. I will change to a green color and assign to it. This will be the poster 2 and so on. So poster 2, give a different color, assign to it. This will be the poster 3. So poster 3, change color and assign to it. Poster 4, change color and assigning, and the last one, poster 5. Change color and assign. So this will be our posters. The rest of them are metal that will be more scratched and rusted that we are going to create in Substance Painter. And the last one is the glass material. So glass, select from here with by holding Control to here, changing. So Shift, click, Control, holding here, Shift, Control until here. This will be the glass, assign, and leave it as white. So this is our model. And let's now unwrap everything. So I will change to UV editing here. Press U and Smart UV unwrap. And we are done with the UV editing. And the last thing to be done before proceeding to Substance Painter is to export our file as FBX. So let's go select our object, let's go to File, Export, Export FBX. So let's move on with the texturing. So switching to Substance Painter, this is a workspace. I will not show a lot of things, it will be really basic things. So in order to import a model, the FBX model that we exported before from Blender, we have to go to File, New, and select from here our FBX and click OK to import it. The second thing that we always do once we open Substance Painter, we have to bake the textures. So here, as you can see, in texture set settings, you have to bake the textures. And I will click on bake all textures. Let's wait until it finishes. So as you can see from here, all the materials that were created in Blender are listed here. So let's first choose the metal one, and if we go to the shelf and Smart Materials, from here you can just drag and drop any material that you like. These are some presets that are already exist in Substance Painter, so I will search here for a metal one. And let's add something with some scratches. I would like this one, so I'm just drag and dropping here to the layers, and as you can see, is already applied to the to our model. We can mouse scroll to zoom in and out. If we are holding Alt and press the left mouse button, we can rotate, and with the right mouse button we can zoom in and out by holding the Alt again, and also with mouse scroll button, holding it down, we can move our object. So let's continue with the posters. I will select the first poster here, and I will switch to textures. So now for the textures, you can just drag and drop any image you like here from your local drive. So I will import 5 posters that I have downloaded for each material. So I'm just drag and dropping it here, and this window appears, which you can set each image that you imported to what it is, if it's an alpha, an environment, or a texture image. So we are going to set all as textures, and from here you can import them to current session, so to textures, to the project and the shelf. So I will click on current session, and here are our images. So for poster 1, we have here our properties for the layer 1, and I will drag the first poster to the base color. So as you can see, our brush tool now is this image, and if we press Ctrl and scroll, we can increase or decrease the size of the image, or we can do it from here. And if we rotate, this is the poster 1, and we click, as you can see, it will be applied to the face that the material is assigned to. So I will press Ctrl and Z to go back and show you how you can paint to the UVs. That is easier for some places. So I will switch from here to 3D 2D. So this is our plane, and as you can see, there is an alpha mask around our image. So if we come here again to the properties, this is our alpha, we can just remove it, and we have now a clear image. So by holding Control and scroll to make the size smaller, you just we can just click and add the image to the plane. But as you can see, this is the opposite, this is rotated to the other side. So we can change also the rotation from here to 180 degrees, and we can just click and add the poster to the model. So let me increase a bit, and we can just add posters, a lot of them, one on top of another, by just dragging our mouse by holding the left click button. So let's go back, 1, 2, and the last one to show the COVID-19 prevention. and change here again the base color to the second poster. For this one I will increase like this and just add it. Let's see how it looks here. So opposite direction. And let's move on with all the posters. If you press F, it will automatically show all the model. It should be the other side, 180. Next one, changing the base color again, and also here the material, and adding this one, and the last poster for poster 5, like this. So look how easily we just added the posters and this nice scratched metal, and let's finalize it with the glass on top. So I'm going back to 3D view only, and for the glass material we have first of all to go to viewer settings and change here the shader to alpha blending, and also from texture settings we have to add a new channel, which is opacity. So you have to click here on the plus icon and add an opacity. For me, because I'm using it, is not there, so here is the opacity. If we remove it and go back to the plus icon, as you can see, I have the option to add an opacity. I will search here to the smart channels for a plastic glossy material. I will add this one because it has some bumpy things on it, and we can get here from the color, enable also opacity for the material, and just change a bit the opacity of the plastic. So this is just a brief understanding of Substance Painter, how fast you can create nice materials. I hope everyone liked this video. I hope you are going now to start getting into Substance Painter to learn more things about it, how easy and it is, and how fast you can create nice textures for your object. And if you like the video, press the like button, leave a comment below with your thoughts. As always, ask questions, ask people to help you, and of course don't forget to subscribe. See you guys.